Welcome everybody. This is the Zen meeting, our Monday night meeting for the Dharmabumtemple. Just like to point that out because there is, I know Vicky kind of probably caught you at the door. There's a recovery meeting downstairs as part of our recovery Dharma kind of group and everything. They meet on Mondays and Fridays. We also have other recovery meetings on Sunday and Tuesday as well. So lots of different kind of options for that. This is our only Zen meeting of the week. So this is kind of like our Zen Sangha, so to say. So yeah, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's good to have new faces, good to have old faces as well. And yeah, I think it's cool to also be a part of something. And yeah, I guess... So is this anybody's first time doing the Zen meeting or first time at the Dharmabumtemple? It's first time? Okay. Got 3 first timers? 4? Okay. For Zen. Okay. Perfect. So I'll go through a little bit of our kind of structure for the evening. It's just an hour and we'll probably be out of here by like 7:58 or something. And I'll do a little bit of instruction about some meditation technique, and then we will do a meditation for about 20 minutes, I'd say, and then we'll do a small break for kind of questions and answers, and then try and also do just a quick little reading and plug some of these books that I'm really into right now for Zen and Buddhism in general as well. And then we'll do another meditation, which I think is really cool. It's usually at even other kind of like Zen practitioner spaces that I've been to. Usually there's only one meditation. And so I really like that there's kind of like a lot of meditation as part of this class. And I don't actually know why we do that, but I think I've learned some really like subtle things from it. And because there's usually a difference between the first meditation that we do and the second one. And it's all internal and everything. And somebody, I think it was you, right, who said it's kind of like breaking the ice or something. Like, I think somebody had said like 2 weeks ago that like the first meditation is kind of like coming in the door, and then the second one is like enjoying the space or something. But did you say that?
That wasn't me.
It was. Right. It was you then.
Been back in a while.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome back. So yeah, it's kind of something I think that's a little bit fun, at least for me, is to be mindful of the differences between the meditations. And I've actually thought that it would be kind of interesting to take that into my own personal practice, to do like meditations in sets, but do with it what you will. And yeah, let me get to this little paper that I got. So for instruction and everything, we can meditate on the chairs, in the pews, or on these mats. We also have, and the pillows as well, the zafus. We have zafus and mats in the back as well if you want a little bit more kind of space back there, or a little bit more privacy. And I'd say comfort and posture are really important techniques for Zen, because we'll be obviously meditating for a good bit of time tonight. And I want you to take care of yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, please address it. If you have to get up, just do it a little bit quietly, especially during the meditation session. And one of the main things to focus on, I think, during any meditation practice is your posture. So you kind of want to have like a seated position that really allows you to sustain like an upright posture. And I think it's there's a lot of magic that happens with the upright posture. A lot of this text for kind of Soto Zen practitioners emphasizes posture so much, and I think it's almost inexplicable. Like there's a lot of I think theory that goes into it, but something about just the upright posture really creates a kind of like a magical kind of meditation sensation. And let me see. there's lots of different ways to fold your legs. There's the Soto Zen practice kind of emphasizes or it gives instruction about a full lotus posture or full lotus kind of folding of the legs. And it's extremely difficult to do that. I've only actually seen one person here do it. So no expectations that anybody's going to get into that folded position. And what it does is it kind of puts your knees on the ground, and then with your seated position and then the knees on the ground, it kind of creates this triangle of stability. And you can kind of simulate that in various ways on the mat. This is a Burmese position, so I've got kind of like one leg folded in. It's not quite like kind of quote unquote Indian style or anything, but it's pretty close to, I think, what full lotus is going for. But everything that's not full lotus is half lotus. I picked that up from Maggie downstairs, so I really like that. And if you're seated, try to put both feet on the ground flat. And if you need, you can kind of put one of the pillows maybe underneath your feet to create that flat kind of footed position and everything. And then if possible, it's very tempting to just sit back on the seat for the whole meditation. I think while we're meditating, it'd be good to try and like not lean back on the seat. Of course, if you have any kind of medical reasons for that, please don't ignore those. But yeah, that'll kind of give you that full upright posture sensation. And I say like straight upright posture a lot, and basically what that means is you don't want to like arch your back or anything, and you don't want to slouch, and you kind of also want to have your ears over your shoulders and then your nose over your navel. And so those kind of instructions, I think, is really, really good for just, knowing that you're in a kind of a straight posture. And you can even, there's actually instructions for this in the Shobo Genzo, where it says like sway side to side and sway back and forth until you find like this straight posture. And it's funny because it works. It's like you can kind of just sway a little bit, and then you find this center, and you just sort of sit there. But like I said, feel free to adjust yourselves constantly. There's no limit to the amounts of adjustments that you can make. There's nothing wrong with, kind of planting yourself and then readjusting constantly. So for breathing and everything, since this is like an unguided meditation, the breath becomes a big anchor for the practice. And I recommend just doing like a simple breathing exercise, just kind of like 3 rounds. It's just in and out, in and out, in and out. So, and slow it down as much as you can. And if you're having trouble knowing what speed to go at, just kind of breathe at a rate where you can't hear yourself breathing. And I think if you can get there, or if you can't hear yourself breathing, then it's slow enough. And then, so posture, breathing. And then the eyes, you can close your eyes. I close my eyes at first. I might open them a little bit throughout the meditation. And for this practice, traditionally, the instruction is to kind of have your eyes like half open, staring at the ground a little bit. But with a lot of people in the room, it gets kind of overwhelming sometimes. So it's totally okay to kind of keep your eyes closed for the duration of the practice. So, to initiate the meditation, I'll just ring the bell here 3 times, and then I'll keep track of the time and then ring us out for the first meditation with another 3 rings of the bell. And before we get started, there was a passage from Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind that I really wanted to read on breathing. And so Shunryo Suzuki Roshi wrote this book, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. He started the San Francisco Zen Center in the 50s or 60s, and he grew up in Japan and like studied Soto Zen in Japan, and kind of is a was a big influence for kind of hippies in the Bay Area to learn about Zen and Buddhism. And the whole idea behind Zen mind, beginner's mind, is that like kind of practicing meditation gives you this beginner's mind, and a beginner's mind is more open versus like an expert's mind that's like very narrow and focused. It knows all the answers, and versus like kind of, which I think is really and there's nothing wrong with being an expert, but I think if you want to be more open-minded about things, it's like the meditation practice is kind of a cool little key to get there. So, breathing. When we practice zazen, our mind always follows our breathing. When we inhale, the air comes into the inner world. When we exhale, the air goes out to the outer world. The inner world is limitless, and the outer world is also limitless. We say inner world or outer world, but actually there's just one whole world. In this limitless world, our throat is like a swinging door. The air comes in and goes out like someone passing through a swinging door. If you think I breathe, the I is extra. There's no you to say I. What we call I is just a swinging door which moves when we inhale and when we exhale. It just moves. That is all. When your mind is pure and calm enough to follow this movement, there is nothing. No I, no world, no mind, nor body, just a swinging door. So when we practice zazen, all that exists is the movement of the breathing. But we are aware of this movement. You should not be absent-minded. But to be aware of the movement does not mean to be aware of your small self, but rather of your universal nature or Buddha nature. Cool. Well, welcome back, everybody. Forgot to introduce myself as well, but my name is Cory, and I've been coming to the Dharmabumtemple for almost 2 years now. I think, I guess it's been about 2 years. And I used to live in San Francisco for a little bit, and I went to the SF Zen Center where Suzuki Roshi had started, kind of like he had created that temple, and it's become like a big network of Zen temples all over California. There's like one in Marin, just north of San Francisco, and then there's like this retreat center that they have in close to Big Sur. It's called Tassajara, and so I was really actually kind of happy to find, after moving to San Diego, that there's people who this book resonates with, and kind of an awareness of all of these temples all over California, and it's nice to kind of know that the practice is pretty ubiquitous, where it permeates, I think, everywhere. And this practice in particular, I think, is really fun, I think, for me, because it's so easy, just sitting and everything, and just kind of almost sitting with my thoughts and trying to witness them in a way, and trying to be present to what's going on around me. And it's also extremely portable because like all you really need is like a watch to keep track of the time. And if you want to set limits for yourself, or like work within some constraints, and I use like the timer on my phone and everything, usually set it for like 20 minutes. And it's a really big help when I travel for work, or just travel for fun, just visit family and everything, and try and continue to kind of do some part of my routine, while I'm traveling. And it's very helpful. There's like this pretty amazing, rich history of like Buddhism in California that I'm still kind of opening up to, and like finding little pockets of. And like this temple in particular has a lot of good relationships, I think, with what is it called, Deer Park Monastery that Thich Nhat Hanh had started, and they're in Escondido, and there's lots of kind of, I think, adventures, I'd say. I can't think of the right word. Little outings that people will put together to go visit them. And they have like these free Sunday things as well, to kind of just do like a day of mindfulness. And so it's pretty cool. It's pretty special. I really appreciate everyone coming tonight and holding this space together to kind of do this practice. And I think before, I wanted to kind of talk about these two other books really quick that I have, but I guess, was there anything that anybody wanted to share maybe from their kind of meditation experience there, or any maybe questions that have kind of come up at all?
Questions, but I want to say it was nice to like relinquish the body and just envision myself like the description separate, just inside, outside, like the inner world and the outer world, but just like to be that like portal, like rather than everything else is just kind of free,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And this is a interesting space to also meditate in, because for some reason a lot of sounds come in. I think it's there's probably some like technical term for it, but maybe the sound design is kind of bringing in a lot of the outside. And we were blessed with sirens, and heard just a plane still passing over, and lots of horns and everything. And it's good opportunities to practice just letting it all go. And I've meditated in here enough times to also like realize that there's really, really gentle reactions to those types of things. That's pretty helpful, just to kind of maybe approach it all with like a sense of curiosity, like, I hope everyone's okay, because these sirens, they're blazing. And it might be a fire truck or like a police officer or an ambulance or something. And I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to kind of like work through the initial reaction and then try and just get through the moment and everything. And the sirens eventually stop, But yeah, I have like two of these books here. So this one book called Beyond Thinking, it's kind of a guide to Zen meditation. It's a bunch of excerpts from the Shobogenzo, pretty much, which was written by Zen Master Dogen like 800 years ago in Japan. He was originally like a Rinzai Zen practitioner. And he had kind of visited China on an excavation or something for like 4 years. And he returned to Japan and like basically started Soto Zen with an emphasis on like sitting practice. And I think it's pretty cool. And I think a lot of people resonate with the Shobogenzo because it has like these really interesting like emphasis on techniques for meditating and just like getting into this posture. And it's like so detailed to the point where all you kind of walk away from is just like to just sit. And there's very little I think kind of what do you call it, very little instruction on what to think about while you're meditating. And I thought that was kind of like a neat bridgeway into this other book that I'm reading called Becoming Yourself, also by Shunryu Suzuki, the guy who started the SF Zen Center. And he says, this is not some fancy teaching. No teaching could be more direct than just to sit. You cannot say anything about it, not even yes or no. This is not something you should believe in because I say so or because Buddha says so. This is the truth that is waiting to be found by you. Just to be yourself is no problem whatsoever. This is what is meant by just to sit. Moment after moment, you'll find your own way when you just sit, when you're simply you yourself. Yeah, those are my books. And I think I actually had like one more piece of instruction on this whole practice that I was kind of bummed I didn't mention it at first because I picked it up a little while ago and I thought it was really good. But I guess when you're in this meditation posture and you're getting ready to meditate, it's good to think of like body like mountain, breath like wind, and mind like sky. And that was all the instruction that I ever got with that, but I thought it was pretty powerful. I guess before we get into this maybe second round of meditating, is there anything maybe kind of coming up for anybody, or anything anybody wants to share about their own kind of practice as well?
Do you mind repeating like the breathing piece?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that earlier. I forgot what you said.
Yeah, so I mean, the breath is kind of an anchor during this practice into the present moment, and so it can be a tool, I think, for when if your thoughts are running away and you want to kind of bring yourself back, just to kind of work through a breathing exercise. And it can be it can be a range of things from just one deep breath to what I like to do is just kind of like 3 rounds. So, just I try and also hold the breath inside for a moment. And so and for me, that's enough just to do it 3 times, just to kind of breathe in for like 4 seconds and then hold it for 4, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold that for 4, and then do it again 3 times. But yeah, there's also a pretty advanced technique, which is to count the breaths. So each cycle of in and out, that's 1 cycle, and to count all the way up to 10. And then when you get to 10, start over. And yeah, it sounds really simple, but I think I've only ever made it to 10 once, and definitely only kind of like started over, and a very seldom, very few times. So it's a really humbling practice, I think. But yeah, does that help? Cool.
I find that the crown string perspective
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
helpful for posture. It's just so simple.
Yeah. So, what's your name?
Ashton.
Ashton. So, what Ashton's talking about is basically like kind of when you're trying to work on your posture, just to imagine like a string gently kind of like pulling on your skull, the top of your crown here, and kind of like that's really good posture. And yeah, no, I was talking about like the swaying and everything, and kind of like nose over your navel, ears over your shoulders, but also just string from the ceiling. So yeah, I think we'll dive into the second meditation for about 10 minutes, and then Vicky will close us out a little bit later. All right. So I guess I'd said at the beginning there that there would be two meditations, and they kind of feel different. But did everybody feel that it was different, or did they all feel the same? You did? Yeah. Like, do you know specifically why?
I'm not sure. I think I started to notice there was less distractions out there. Initially it would stop barking and planes going and the noises outside. I just felt it was a little bit more quieter for the second session.
Nice. Yeah. I guess the easy difference is the second one is shorter, but yeah. So the distractions were like less disruptive, or you just were like kind of zoned in?
Yeah, more focused and able to focus within itself.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. So I guess before we got Vicky do the kind of closing procedures and everything, I'm going to do a dedication of merit. So if everybody is comfortable, please bring your hands to heart center. And may any merit gained from this practice be transferred and of benefit to all beings in all directions. And may all beings be at peace. May all be free from suffering. All right, Vicky, thanks for kind of hosting tonight and keeping us safe.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for leading us. It's really nice. And thanks for everybody being here. I'm tonight's host, Vicky. We opened the Dharmabumtemple 18 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone with addiction, and our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 4:30. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on the website and also posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it and then bring it back whenever you are finished with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. If a few people could stay to help close and latch the windows, that would be great. Thanks for being here, and we wish you well and hope to see you again.
Thanks, everyone.